Hey y'all, it's Dr. Shamanda. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am a licensed mental health and addictions therapist based out of North Carolina, and I specialize in financial therapy, which is all about helping you heal and understand your relationship with money. But on this channel, I share my own personal finance journey and financial education. Okay, so let's talk about it. Today, I want to talk about 7 lessons, specifically money lessons, I think that you need to know in today's economy. Okay, now I use this channel to share my own personal finance journey. I document my own journey towards saving, building wealth, investing, paying off debt, all that good stuff. You guys know I am a financial therapist. I am literally completing my certification in it now. Like, I am passionate about money, and there is specifically the intersection between money or personal finance and mental health, because I do believe, and there's research to back this up, that your money affects your mental health. So I am super passionate about that. So today I want to talk to you guys about these money lessons and what I think that we can do in order to manage these things. Okay, before we get started, I want to share some research that I saw as I was looking at this concept. And let me just throw these numbers out here. Okay, so the current picture of the economy right now looks like July's inflation was 3.4% year over year. Food, or groceries, however you want to call it, was up 3%. Energy, or electricity, was up 14.7%, and shelter housing costs was up 3.2%. Now, on the flip side of that, unemployment for July was down, was 4.1%. And as you guys may or may not know, if you follow this or not, I know I try to keep up with this, but the feds, they're holding the interest rate, whatever, or funds target at 3.5 to 3.75%. Household debt in the U.S. reached 18.8 trillion just in quarter 2 of this year, and credit card balances was at like 1.26 trillion. Y'all, look at 1.26 trillion, baby. Listen, and we're not even gonna talk about the actual debt that we have in the U.S. total. We're not even gonna talk about that, but as you can see, these numbers, it's not looking good, and more than likely you feel this to some degree. I don't want anybody to ever allow yourself to be gaslit that, oh, the economy is fine, we're doing better than ever. No, we're not. So even if you received a pay raise, you work a pretty decent job in terms of your salary or income, with these numbers and how it affects your income and the money and the reach, right? The ability to do more with your money, you're going to still be impacted regardless of how much you make, unless you make some different decisions. Now, you'll still be impacted. However, that doesn't mean, that's your get out of jail free card, or you have some excuse. Like, no, we understand what's happening, but we can also adjust and make some adjustments, I would say. Yeah. So let's look at this. The first thing I want to say is that in this economy, we need to stop waiting for the economy to become perfect. I think that sometimes we can have this idea that when this person is in office, things will be better, or when the feds cut or not cut, whatever, it's going to be better. Like, we're waiting for things to change, right? We're waiting for inflation to come down. We're waiting for interest rates to go lower. We're waiting for the stock market to go to green before we'll invest. We're waiting for the job market to be better before we start looking for better job opportunities, or if you want to be self-employed or a contractor like me, waiting for the right time to do that. Like, there's no perfect time at all, right? And so at the end of the day, like, that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, is like waiting for this perfect time in the economy. It doesn't happen. You have to build your financial life around the economy that we're actually in. So, like, looking at the actual numbers, looking at reality, and building around those numbers and that reality, if that makes sense. Okay. Number two is that cash is more important than ever. But we also don't want to let cash become our entire strategy. So one thing I'll share here is, you guys know last week I reached $10,000 in my freedom fund. Excuse me, and that was a goal that I had set earlier this year, and I set a timeline. Like, I was like, I want to have $10,000 in my freedom fund, my high yield savings account, in 5 months. And so something about having a savings account. You might call yours an emergency fund, a rainy day fund. I call mine a freedom fund, whatever you want to call it. It gives you breathing room. It lets you know that, like, if something happens, you have a cushion, you have like a safety net, a safe haven to some degree. And I remember when I was a young single mom struggling, I never had that. And I used to always be like, okay, when I get some money, when I get a job, when I get like a good paying job, because I was in school and stuff too around, back in those days. Like, I always think, or even when after I got my master's and got licensed and everything, I still wasn't making a lot of money. But like, I would think that, okay, once I get another raise or whatever, I'm going to hit this number and I'm going to start saving and all this. And I just know that, like, I'm going to be good. I don't have to worry about things. Like, I always was like working toward having a safety net, because I knew I didn't have a safety net outside of myself. That's the key word. Like, and that's just real. And that's for a lot of people these days. Outside of yourself, you don't have a safety net. And a lot of other people in your world are probably struggling too, or they don't have the money to help you when you need it. And it's not fair for us to be mad at other people because they can't help us when they're barely surviving themselves. They're barely maintaining themselves. So, like, it's our jobs to build that safety net for ourselves. And one way to do that is understanding that cash is more than important than ever now. Okay? So cash gives or equals stability. Investments equal growth. And income is the fuel. And we need all three. Okay? Number three is we need to definitely stop relying on one income source. Y'all know how I feel about that. Like, let's be for real. One of the biggest, I would say probably one of the smartest decisions I've ever made was, as I've transitioned into self-employment full-time, is to make sure that I diversify my income. Whether that was obviously therapy. But I don't provide therapy on just one platform. I don't provide therapy just through like a private practice. I have multiple sources of that. So if I ever feel like, okay, my income is getting a little low, I can reach out to one platform and say, hey, I need more referrals or whatever, right? Like, also teaching. I am a doctoral level therapist, which means I've gotten my doctorate. I have taught for over 5 years. I have research experience, management experience. I'm a certified clinical supervisor. Like, all those things allow me to teach, at the university level. If I want to teach a class, if I want to teach a couple classes a semester, if I want to, whatever, right? But teaching is another source of income for me because I do have those advanced credentials in education. YouTube, you guys know this is a streaming income. Now, I don't make much money off of YouTube. Let's be for real. But I will use that money. Trust me. Like, it still is a streaming income and I'm able to still use it. There have been times where, like, especially if you guys look back at my savings journey, I use that as part of hitting that $2,000 milestone every month or those months. So it has definitely come in handy. And so it's a streaming income and it'll continue to grow over time. I have a movie, I have a book, I have other, like I said, different streams of income. And so I just want to encourage you to never rely just on one stream of income. It doesn't mean you need like 10 jobs. It doesn't mean you need to burn yourself out and exhaust yourself. But at the end of the day, figure out how you can diversify who you are, right? You don't have to turn your hobbies, things that you love, into sources of income where you're no longer really interested in it because now it's like this thing that you're dreading because it's all about money. No, but there's a lot of skills that you already have, and if you can figure out a way to monetize those things, I promise you'll be able to be better financially, in a better space financially, especially in this economy. Number 4 is our lifestyles matter more than the economy, or essentially, right? Now I'm saying that not in a positive way. Like, at the end of the day, well, am I saying it a positive way? I don't know. Anyway, what I mean by that is, y'all know I'm a minimalist, right? And I don't mind that. Like, I got this dress for Walmart for like $10, something like that. I don't know. Okay, and I love being a minimalist because for me, the fact that I don't put so much money into like fashion and luxury stuff, all that kind of stuff, it allows me to be able to put chunks towards saving. I can put $2,000 chunks toward a savings goal per month. I can put, and also that same month, put $1,200 toward my Roth investment account, and pay my mortgage and pay my household expenses and X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that's because I'm not spending money on all these extra stuff. Like, that's just me though, and I know that not everybody wants to live that minimalist lifestyle, but also know, you need to know that like that's the trade-off though. Like, if you choose not to live or decrease your living expenses and not to live extravagantly while you're trying to survive this economy, then you're choosing to struggle more, or at least extending that timeline, if that makes sense. That is a choice that you're making though. Let's be for real. If you say, I cannot cut back on this, or I can't cook at home, or I cannot not get some new shoes this month, that is your choice. That is a choice though. Because with that same money that you technically didn't need any new shoes or clothes, whatever, you could have been investing or saving that money. Like, so I don't let people off the hook. I'm not. We're not about to play them kind of games. Like, let's be for real. So yes, I am calling you out on that. Let's talk about it, okay? Anyway, but obviously there are things about this economy that you can't control, right? You can't control the inflation, interest rate, the housing prices, gas prices, or the stock market, but you can control how much you're actually spending on things that aren't necessities. And I would actually encourage you to look at the things that's on your necessity list. Are they really necessities? Or is this just what you're used to having? And, oh, I cannot imagine not getting a facial this month. Or I could not imagine getting my nails done this month. Oh, that is not, oh, absolutely not. How, oh, there's no way. Oh, really? Let's try it. Let's just see. You know what I'm saying? Okay, anyway. Yeah, see, I'm not meant for everybody. Like, cause I'm not about to play with you. I'm gonna call you out, like, for real. And that's how I am with myself, though. Okay. Number 5 is, we definitely do not need to abandon investment just because the market might be scary, right? Like, in this market, you're gonna see the market one day is green, one day is red, 5 days is red straight, and you be like, oh, I might need to pull my money out of it. This don't, like, it's doing too good. We cannot operate like that. You cannot operate out of fear. Like, look at history. Historically, we always go back up, and I'm just not gonna just assume that like this is gonna be the year that it just completely just is destroyed. And even if it is, we've seen that happen. We've seen crashes before, but it still end up going back up, right? And so, when the market is down emotionally, it can feel like it's the worst time to invest, but actually it's the opposite. It's really, you're buying stocks at a discount. You know what I mean? And so, and if you're thinking long term, you're not necessarily worried about the day to day anyway. You really probably shouldn't be looking at stocks like that every day, but I do, because it don't bother me, because I understand like what's going on. But we can't try to predict the bottom. We're buying our assets for the future, okay? And so obviously, for me, I'm maxing out my Roth. I'm going to be continuing to put money into my investments the rest of this year so that I can hit $100,000 in total invested. And I'm just focused on, compound interest and stuff like that. Lastly, I would say that, next to last, debt deserves respect as well, right? So we need to make sure that we're putting time and energy into paying off debt as soon as possible, because I'm telling y'all, and y'all know how I feel about debt, the sooner you can pay off the debt, you get that money back. I have talked to so many clients about this. Like, I understand. It's like, oh, but I can't because this is like, I'm telling you, if you really just go hard, lock in for like 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and just really throw all that money at that, paying that debt off. When you pay that one off, you can roll that into the next one and the next one, and just imagine what life will look like when you don't have any money going toward debt and you actually putting that money towards yourself. Whether you just want to spend it on yourself, buy that facial, buy that bag, buy that whatever, or you want to put that into savings, investments, but you get to choose what you do with your money instead of knowing that you owe that money to somebody and you got to constantly spend that money out, paying it back to somebody every month. Like that, I can't do it. Like, y'all already know how I feel. That's why I'm locked in on paying off debt. Now this isn't all about like just becoming debt free immediately. It's about like just knowing what the debt is costing you. Okay. And then last but not least, we are really focused on building financial flexibility, not just financial wealth, right? You don't want to just have money invested. You want to have money invested, savings, multiple streams of income, lower expenses, skills, and options. That leads to having that flexibility. And to me, that's real wealth. Okay. And that gives you more peace. So again, I know this economy is crazy right now, but there are a lot of things that we can do to navigate this season. All right. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful. If you like this video, if you found any value, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Talk to you soon.